Section 1. You will hear a conversation between a travel agent and a customer. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 10. Now listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 10.
Travel Solutions. Hello, how can I help you today?
Hi, I'd like to book a guided tour in Silverton for this summer.
Certainly. Could I have your name, please?
My name is Peter Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. When would you like to start your tour?
I'm hoping to leave on the 10th of July
And how many days would your tour last?
for 5 days.
Just to clarify, will there be one person traveling or more?
Actually, there will be 2 people.
All right, 2 people from July 10th for 5 days. Do you have a preferred hotel?
Yes, we want to stay at the Ocean View Inn.
Great. We can include that in the package. We also offer several day trip excursions. For example, the city tour departs at 9 a.m. and is a 3-hour tour costing $50.
That sounds interesting.
If you prefer the afternoon, we have the coastal tour. It departs at 2 p.m. and costs $45.
And what about early morning trips?
We have a mountain hike that leaves at 6:30 a.m. That one costs $60.
I see. Thank you.
If mornings are not convenient, there is also a temple visit, a 2-hour tour leaving at 10 a.m. for $30.
Okay, that could work.
Finally, we have an evening river cruise that departs at 5 p.m. for a 3-hour trip, costing $70.
Thank you very much for the information. Those options are great.
You're welcome. Which tours would you like to include in your itinerary?
We would like the city tour and the temple visit.
Certainly, I'll include both of those. By the way, would you be interested in an airport transfer to your hotel?
Yes, please arrange that as well.
No problem. We can do that. It costs $30 each way for a private taxi.
That would be helpful. Thank you.
You're welcome. Let me just confirm everything. Your name, Peter Johnson, departure date, July 10th, 5 days, 2 travelers, hotel, Ocean View Inn, tours, city tour, and temple visit, and airport transfer. Does that sound correct?
Yes, that's all correct.
Great. We'll send you an email confirmation soon. Is there anything else I can help you with?
No, that's all. Thanks a lot.
My pleasure. Enjoy your trip and have a great day.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Section 2. You will hear a talk given by a museum guide about the day's schedule of events. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 20. Now listen and answer questions 11 to 20.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the City Science Museum. My name is John, and I'm your information guide for today. I'd like to give you a quick overview of the schedule of events we have planned for the day. First of all, at 10 a.m., we have a robotics workshop in Room 1. This workshop will give you a hands-on session with some small robots. Our staff will demonstrate how the robots work and let you try controlling them. If you're interested in technology, this is a great chance to see some cool gadgets up close. Please arrive by 9:50, as the workshop starts exactly at 10 a.m. sharp. Next, after the workshop and a short break for lunch, at 1 p.m. we will have a planetarium show in Hall A. This is a stargazing presentation where the ceiling of the hall will display the night sky. The show will take you on a tour of the stars and planets. It's a relaxing 45-minute program, so make sure you're in your seat a few minutes early. Hall A is upstairs to the right of the main lobby. Then at 3 p.m. there will be a lecture on sustainable energy in our lecture hall. The speaker is one of our leading scientists, and she will talk about wind and solar power and how society can use them. The lecture hall is a medium-sized room on the second floor. This talk will begin at 3 p.m. and will run for about 1 hour, including questions at the end. After that, at 5 p.m., we will do a guided tour of the museum. We'll meet in the main foyer, which is the large lobby area near the entrance. The tour is led by one of our experts, and it will cover some of the museum highlights, including the new dinosaur exhibit and the art installations. The tour will last around an hour. Finally, at 7 p.m., we will have a closing ceremony in the main hall. The main hall is on the ground floor, in the center of the building. The closing ceremony is a short event where we'll give a summary of the day and some information about tomorrow's schedule. So to recap, robotics workshop at 10 o'clock in room 1, planetarium show at 1 p.m. in hall A, sustainable energy talk at 3 p.m. in the lecture hall, guided tour at 5 p.m. meeting in the foyer, closing ceremony at 7 p.m. in the main hall. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me or the staff at the desk. Enjoy the museum and the rest of the day.
Section 3. You will hear a discussion between two students and their instructor about a group assignment. First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 30. Now listen and answer questions 21 to 30.
All right, everyone, thank you for coming. As I mentioned, this is a group project for your training program. You need to create a short video presentation on an aspect of local history. You have 4 weeks to complete it, and you'll present it in class. Do you have any questions so far?
Professor, could we focus on something like a local festival or maybe a historical building?
I was thinking maybe something about the Old Town Library or the city market.
Those are good ideas. The goal is to highlight something interesting about our local community. Think about people, places, and stories.
Perhaps we could interview some long-time residents and get their stories about, say, World War II or an economic boom.
That's a good approach, Kim. Oral history from residents can be very engaging.
We should also collect some visual materials. We could gather old photographs and documents from the local museum or archives.
Yes, and maybe the Historical Society might have some resources too.
That's true. I should check with the local museum. I have a contact there.
If you need cameras or recording equipment for interviews, let me know.
I could interview people who lived through those events and record their stories.
I will help you with the recording equipment. I have a digital camera and a microphone we can use.
Great, thank you. Maybe I can compile the
So
photos
Kim will
and
conduct
archival
interviews,
material.
John will gather
We can
photographs,
combine them with
and I
the
will provide
interviews.
technical support with the equipment.
How about contacting the museum? I can make a phone call to ask for permission to use their archives.
Good idea. I'll prepare a list of questions and a schedule for interviews will do.
Sounds like a plan. Let's write down our tasks. Interview local residents for their memories. Gather historical photographs and documents. Provide recording equipment and support. Also, remember to check the project guidelines on the training program website.
Thanks for the help, Mr. Smith.
No problem. Good luck with your project.
Section 4. You will hear a lecture on renewable energy sources. First, you have some time to look at questions 31 to 40. Now listen and answer questions 31 to 40. Today I would like to talk about renewable energy sources and their importance for our future. As the global demand for energy grows and concerns about climate change increase, renewable energy is seen as a key solution. By renewable sources, I mean energy that comes from natural processes that are continuously replenished. For example, wind power, solar power, and hydroelectric power are 3 common types. First, let's look at these examples. Wind power is produced by wind turbines that capture the energy of moving air. For instance, on the flat plains of many countries, you can see large wind farms with dozens of turbines. Solar power comes from sunlight, often using photovoltaic panels that convert sunlight directly into electricity. In many cities, solar panels are installed on rooftops or in fields. Hydroelectric power is generated by the flow of water, usually through dams on rivers or with turbines in flowing water or ocean currents. One major advantage of renewable energy is that it produces no greenhouse gases or air pollutants during operation. Unlike fossil fuels such as coal or oil, wind and solar power do not emit smoke or carbon dioxide. Another benefit is that renewable sources reduce our reliance on fossil fuels, which are finite and polluting. For example, when electricity is generated from a solar panel, we do not need to burn coal at a power plant. However, there are challenges to using renewable energy. One challenge is the high initial cost. Building and installing wind turbines or solar panels requires a lot of money up front. Another issue is that some renewable systems require a lot of space. Large wind farms and solar arrays need a large land area to produce significant power. Hydroelectric dams can also flood large areas. Additionally, sources like solar or wind can be intermittent, meaning they only produce energy under certain conditions, such as when the sun is shining or the wind is blowing. In summary, renewable energy sources like wind, solar, and hydroelectric power offer significant benefits because they produce clean energy without greenhouse gas emissions. They are crucial for reducing pollution and conserving fossil fuels. However, they come with drawbacks such as high initial costs and land use requirements. Advances in technology and storage are helping to overcome these challenges, so renewable energy will likely play an increasingly important role in our energy future. Thank you for listening. I will be happy to answer any questions.